with that in mind, we want to turn it over to our presenter for today. We have Karen Russo, and I want to thank Karen. Yesterday, mid-morning, and I got a call from our original presenter who was unable to be here today. 2020 life throws lots of curveballs, and Ellen had a curveball thrown at her, and so she gave me a call, and I let her know we get it taken care of. And so I appreciate Karen for being able to step in and fill her place. Karen was on my list for a 2021 session, so we're excited to have her back. If you missed her first presentation, it was July 9th, I believe. So if you want, you can go back and review her first session that she did with us back in July. But we're excited to have her back. She's an award-winning author and an expert on money. So Karen, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you, and it's all yours.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you, Robert, and thank you everyone here at the Arizona Commerce Authority. And today's session is really about strategies and tools for you. You as the business owner, the leader, how do you lead business growth, but do it in a way that is sustainable? So yes, you and your team are more focused and you're also resilient. And so the name of this session is Money Loves Rhythm, weekly practices to stay focused and resilient. And that phrase, money loves rhythm, often intrigues us because rhythm isn't really just speed. Rhythm is an energetic ability to grow. And that's what we'll be focused on here. So the topics that we've got are money purpose. So this is an opportunity for you to clarify what you're up to in your business and how money drives that purpose. We'll also look at business goals. And this is wonderful for those of you that are watching this as you're completing 2020 and you're getting set up to have your goals and implementation for 2021, or for those that are reaching this at another time. It's always nice to check in again. What are my goals? And then how am I tracking results? And I'm going to give you a very simple distinction: process measures and results measures that can help you to be even more effective in tracking, monitoring, and also helping your team achieve your goals. And then we'll look at this idea of rhythm a little bit more deeply. How does a sustainable rhythm create results? And two practices: Money Monday, which is where you give attention to get focused, and Faithful Friday. And that phrase might be a little bit intriguing to you to think about, how does faith fit into my business? But for many of us, it's taken a lot of faith to be resilient and successful in our businesses. And we're going to look at the power of being receptive and reflective, and how that, as a Friday practice, can help sustain success. So you'll see with these topics that this session there's going to be information and tools, but I'm also going to take moments where I will stop the slide share. I'm going to speak straight to camera. We're going to pose a question in the chat, and the folks will, Faith and Lisa and others, will kind of help get your voices into this. We want this session to be a leadership reflection session for you. And so I would encourage you, if you're a person who takes notes on an app, or you've got a journal, or there's a way that you can take a few notes or reflect on some of the questions, let this be a leadership reflection experience for you. All right, so let's begin with this idea about money purpose. And I appreciate Robert did the introduction. So my background is 30 years of business, banking, corporate, side by side with 30 years of personal and spiritual growth work. So I am an ordained interfaith minister. I'm also a corporate trainer and an MBA. And it was over 10 years ago, I wanted to see how those two things really came together. And so I was reflecting on bringing forth my own work, my own message into the world. And it was very interesting is that I was involved in two different kinds of communities. One community was the spiritual, personal growth world, where I saw a lot of people who had that abundance mindset, but didn't have a lot of the practical tools to make money, keep money, feel confident about money. And then at the time, I was also involved in the wealth building and small business energy area. Some of you might remember, you've got a millionaire mind. Let's break a board. Let's, we're all gonna like do tax liens on the side and start 2 or 3 businesses. Make money on the internet. I'm dating myself, but this was 10, 15 years ago. And what I noticed in that world is that people had a lot of strategies and tactics, but were sometimes missing the leadership mindset and focus. And so when I said, how do those two things come together? One of the questions that came up that really was for me to reflect on, and I invite you to really think about this now, is whatever you're doing as a small business owner, as a professional, as a leader, of course it's important for you to make money. But it's also important, I know this, that you're committed to making a difference for your clients, for your family, for your team, for our community, for our state, for our world. And so that's where the question comes in. See, it's not just about the money. What's the money for? What's the purpose and the value and the commitment, the meaning behind the money? And that's where money purpose comes in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe what is money purpose. I'll show a sample of a money purpose statement, and then I'll pause and see, we'll get some response from you. And I also noticed that a question came into the Q&A box. And so I'll also see if that's time to take that question. What's the money for? Money purpose. So if you think about your business, sometimes people will say, what's your why? WHY. What's your reason for being in business? What's your higher purpose? So money purpose starts with your overall purpose. What's your vision? What's your intention? What's the service? What's the value you're bringing forth? And then money purpose very clearly says, how does the money fit in? How does money connect, fuel, support that purpose? So take just a moment now and start to think for yourself, if you had to express it in just a phrase, what's the purpose of your business? And how does the money support that purpose? And let's take a look at an example. So this is Helene from Holistic Healing. And her business, her money purpose statement is this: Holistic Healing guides clients in achieving and sustaining healthy recovery from sports injuries. Money comes in generously as consistent revenue, flows out in wise, streamlined expenses, and grows to fund marketing for more reach in the coming year. So you can see for this business owner, their purpose pretty clear, and the money is about revenue, streamlined expenses, and then also being able to fund marketing for greater reach. Here's a hint: money purpose statements, where your business purpose might be ongoing, your money purpose statement could be seasonal. So what's coming up for you at this time? What have you been through in your business? Your money purpose statement might be a statement about stabilizing so that you can grow. For others, it might be about investment for going to scale. Your money purpose statement can be seasonal. So the question that I'll put into the chat, and I think what I will do is I will go ahead and leave this, this slide up so that people can see the sample. But the question that we'll put into the chat is, what are some of the words and ideas for your money purpose? So you could put a phrase about the purpose of your business. You could choose one of those verbs: money grows, money generates revenue. What are some of the words and phrases for your money purpose? And I'll pause and give you a few seconds to come up with some of those. That's great. Jody says stability. Darren says creativity. Yeah, what's the why for your business, and what's the money funding right now? All right, so we'll give just another moment or two for that. You know, it's interesting. Oh, great. Vince says serve community. Debbie's got community growth and local community and local connectivity. All right, good. They keep coming in. So in a moment, maybe we'll ask Faith. You can go ahead and read out some of the next few of those. All right, well, I'll go ahead and capture some of these. We've got support the community. Oh, great. Yasmin is a translator, sustainability, serve the community, creative marketing, and philanthropy. Yeah, isn't it, you know, several of you have said the word service is, oh, and Gail says your energy reminds me of The Secret, you know. So I do come from sometime in that world, how do you take principles of and ideas and then apply them to business. So you got me, Gail. One of the things that's just helpful thing about money purpose is your business serves the community, the money serves you. So sometimes for some business owners, it's just really important to be very clear that your business serves a purpose, the money serves you being able to fund and sustain the business. And it's also good to remind ourselves that we want to be very connected to our business model. So I'm now going to do a couple of slides on your money model for your business and your money goals. And then I'll ask another question about what your goals are coming up. So when you think about how a business makes money, this is a very high level idea about business model. And it's a good one for the strategic communication that you, as an individual, when you're communicating to your team, or whether you're applying for a grant, whether you're working in a mastermind, whether you're talking to a coach from the SBDC, when you talk about your business, it's really helpful to be able to articulate, we solve this problem, we make a profit. So even if your business has a heart of service, even if your business is a not-for-profit business, the essence of a business entity is you solve a problem and you make a profit doing it. So here are the three major elements of business model. The first is your purpose, your values, your brand. And you've already been thinking about the words and phrases that create the essence of your purpose. So as the leader of your business, you want to be clear, inspired, and involved in articulating what your purpose, value, and brand is all about. The other aspect of a business is foundational. So what are the legal, financial, operational, and technical structures? Everything from business entity to funding to operations and communication. All of that is foundational. As the leader of your business, as the owner, you're often involved with making sure you've got a stable and efficient and appropriately sized and structured foundation. But what we will notice here is that no difference is being made and no money is being made just by having a vision and by having a foundation. So the essence, the story of your business is this piece in the middle. Businesses solve a problem for money. You solve a problem actually that clients know they have and are willing to spend money on. We market, which is communication to attract the ideal prospects. We sell to convert those prospects to clients, and then we deliver at margins that create profit. And that essential piece is often where the creativity, and for many of you, the pivots and the reimagine has happened. So you may have, my dear stepson owns a restaurant, and their restaurant brand, their purpose was a cozy breakfast and lunch neighborhood place, which was about tables tight together and lingering over your meal. So as a pandemic hit, they had to go in mitigation. They tried to do it in a smaller capacity way, but it really didn't work. And so what they ended up doing was they closed for a bit to reassess, and they opened takeout pizza and salad with their same branding of offering vegan ingredients and healthy options, but they're doing it takeout, neighborhood based, and they are doing it just Monday through Thursday during the week. So they're keeping some of the essence of their neighborhood healthy food options brand, but they created they're solving a different problem, the evening meal, and they're delivering in a way that they can do it at margin. So for you right now, as the business owner, I'd advise that most of your time and energy is spent in that middle row. That's where you're able to make the difference you're here to make and also be able to make money. It's tempting sometimes as a business owner. Some of us will get excited about creating and recreating the brand. Others of us will get comfort by tinkering around and tidying up with our foundation. But really, the essence of the business is in the center there. And it's the essence of the business that drives your money and business goals. So I'm going to describe 5 different business goals and how to track and measure. And then I'm going to ask you, what are some of your most important money and business goals right now? So money and business goals: increase income. That's a very common goal for people to have. Let's have, more sales, increase revenue. Decrease expense. And especially now, sometimes people are looking to streamline, to have better margins, either through making tough decisions about fixed expense or recalibrating the size of your team. And sometimes decreased expense is about streamlining. Launch profitably. So whatever is new that you're looking to launch, whether it's a new program, a new offering, a virtual or hybrid offering, you want to be able to think about, how can I circulate from the start? So how can we make sure that we're generating revenue as we launch something new? Improving systems is a money goal, because there's always value you can add in the steps you take to achieve whatever the business outcome that you achieve. And there's always ways to reduce waste. And finally, completing projects is a financial goal, because there are likely projects and activities, whether they're HR projects, technology, whether they have to do with manufacturing or how you allocate resources. if you have undone projects, you may have what's called an opportunity cost, where you as the business owner are spending time, energy, and attention in a way that isn't moving, delivering, marketing, selling, and delivering. So with all of those different kinds of money goals, it's really important to be able to track progress, both for you, but also for the people that you coach, that you mentor, that are on your team. So I'm encouraging you to track both process measures and results measures. So for example, if you are looking to increase sales, a process measure of sales would be something that you can count, a number of an action or an event or a quantity that you can count during a time period. So the simplest thing is, if you're some kind of expert and you look to increase sales, you might want to look to how many networking virtual events do I go to, and how, out of the people that I meet at those events, how many of those turn into discovery sessions? And out of those discovery sessions, what's the frequency or the number of people who become clients? That's a process measure. A results measure might be the number of clients we have at month end, or the revenue results that we booked this month from our clients. It's really helpful to have both process and results measures. Too often, people will wait to the end of a period, the end of a month or end of a quarter, to see how we did. Whereas if you have a process measure, you can set goals and commitments and track the steps along the way to achieve your goal. So the same thing can happen with a business goal like launching. So I'm aware of a firm here in Arizona that has been a high-end medical concierge that launched a flexible COVID testing division. And for them, their process measures were how many government and private clients and testing events can they book. Their results measures are how many people have we tested, and then the revenue coming from that number of tests. And part of being a savvy business owner is being able to set your goals for both process measures and results measures. So our next question that we'll put into the chat is, what are some of the money goals that you are focusing on now? So what are the money goals that you are focusing on now? So I'll put this question in for everybody. So for many of you, it might be increase sales, increase number of clients, launch something new. But let's get a few of you to go ahead and put in there, what are your money goals? And then maybe I'll ask Faith to read some of these aloud.
Jody says increase sales and profit. Lynn said collection of past due AR. David says he'd like to increase margins.
That's great. You know, isn't it interesting with increased margins and trying to preserve cash? Those are often goals that require increasing on the revenue side and streamlining or decreasing or slowing down or spreading out expense at the same time. So sometimes those goals will have a both and.
Vince says long-term business reputation, increase profits. Gail, have patience and make money by June. Darren, cash flow and increase in clientele.
Thank you, Faith.
Robert just shared with us, after 4 years of record growth, stabilize revenue and processes to support next growth phase of company.
These are great. Yeah. Yeah.
Joyrides AZ just posted, we are purchasing new Echoes and would like to increase booking and have a comparison to previous booking vehicles.
Yeah. Thank you all for these. It's really good to think about what are our goals now. And it's also very helpful when you're in a session like this to see how different size companies and different stages of where your company is are going to drive different kinds of goals. So the whole piece about reputation and reach and increasing clientele and visibility, that is a great area to really think about what are my process measures, like is it SEO type measures? Is it social media engagement measures? Is it inquiry measures? Is it collaboration and joint venture measures? Like sometimes you need to spread it out and see what measures eventually lead to more clients. And if Joyrise AV is purchasing new vehicles, making capital investments to grow, and then somebody else was also talking about the growing to scale, is your goals really might include more time measures. What's the return you expect by what piece of time? And that can also mean whether you're scaling up with equipment, scaling up with lines, scaling up with people. So good work, everybody. And thank you, Faith, for that. It's really important to think about what's the essential story of my business, and then what are the goals that are ours to focus on now. And then how do you achieve those goals? And this is where this phrase, money loves rhythm, is so important. Money loves rhythm. So what this means is, I know that if you have been part of the Small Business Bootcamp and you have been dedicated to education, information, tools, being in the community, that you are already committed to your business, you're already working hard, and you're likely already working a lot. And what you and I and all of us know is that real growth sustained over time is not just about speed and volume. Real growth is more rhythmic. It's more sustainable. See, rhythm is founded on the principle of circulation, and a healthy view of circulation is what gets results. So rhythm, you can think about it almost musically, like there's a beat. You can think about a healthy, vital body has good rhythmic energy, good flow. And this symbol of circulation, the infinity symbol, represents the flow of giving and receiving. And anything that's healthy, a body, a conversation, a relationship, has good give and take, good flow, good vitality. And that's what creates sustainable results. So for you as a leader, I really want you to consider, have you been just counting on your own heroics, your own hard work, your own speed and volume? Or are you setting yourself up for long-term success? So as a leader, money loves rhythm. And for you and me, for all of us, we lead business growth through action and awareness. Action and awareness. That's an example of the flow of circulation. So think about it. If you're coaching a team member, we all know this. Everyone is like a precious gem. One of your employees, one of your team members, each one is special. But all people need some combination of both support, encouragement, and challenge, accountability, stretch. Support and challenge, encouragement and accountability. anything that's healthy and growing, there's times of stillness, there's times of movement. As a leader, sometimes you need to sit back and become aware and reflect and think. And as a leader, sometimes you need to jump in, roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty. I was in my sales career, I was one of those leaders who was very action oriented. So I was like total hands-on. I'd never ask my people to do what I wasn't willing to do. If we need to scramble to put this RFP together, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and jump right in. The leadership coaching I got was that there were times when I needed to do more awareness, reflection, ask a good question, and then let people figure it out for themselves. So just notice, do you have a bias toward always taking action? Maybe you're a person who sits back too much and you have too much of a bias of analysis and awareness and reflection. Both are really important for you as a leader and for the money in your business. So out of this idea of how do you lead your business through action and awareness, what are the 2 weekly practices that you can engage in to foster business growth? So this is the kind of final teaching piece of our time together. 2 weekly money practices, Money Monday and Faithful Friday. And you can see the little book, the little green book is Grow Yourself, Grow Your Wealth. After I wrote my large seminal book, The Money Keys, this came out in 2015, Grow Yourself, Grow Your Wealth. And what I wanted to do was put into a simple form the idea of money purpose, and then these 2 powerful weekly practices. And when I say practice, this is 5 to 10 to 20 minutes that you engage in as the business owner every Monday and every Friday. So let's take a look at these 2 practices. Money Monday is all about giving. It's the action. Money Monday is about giving so that you get focused. So on Mondays, you carve out time to give. And the first thing, ironically, that I recommend as a business owner, that you and your business give financially, that you give money. And so the idea about being a giving business comes from the idea of tithing. So many of you are familiar with the principle tithe, T-I-T-H-E, means a tenth. And across the ancient traditions of the, when the ancients would plow the fields and they would get a good harvest, they would leave 10% of the good harvest in the soil to prepare for the next planting. That's an example of a tithe. And then many religious traditions have the idea that you give thanks for the 100% that comes to you and you leave 10% behind. So if those images don't really resonate with you, you'll certainly be interested in all the research that says individuals who give and companies who give tend to have better margins, better profitability, that being a company, an organization, a business that is generous and giving is good for your reputation, good for the engagement of your people, good for your community, and good for your bottom line. So I recommend that you give on a regular basis. So every Monday, you as the business owner, now it might be if you're an expert business, you might do what I do. The Money Keys is a for-profit business with the heart of giving. So every Monday, I look at the deposits and receipts for that week, and I give 10%. Our business is a tithing business. We give 10% off the top to people, causes, and organizations that inspire us. So I get connected to my money purpose, and I give to the things that are inspiring. Now, for your organization, there might be the YWCA, the Boys and Girls Club. It might be many of the different charities that are involved in helping our organization and our community. Part of our tithing in this past year was giving to the tribal organizations that were hard hit by pandemic. So what are the causes and people and groups that if you give to, it's inspiring? And if you already are set up to give once a month, maybe just once a week, you look at those numbers or you write a thank you note, but getting yourself connected to your organization being a giver every week is powerful. And then you keep giving on Monday. You give your attention. So you give your attention to your money purpose statement. You might even say it out loud. You give your attention to the financial management that is yours to do. So for some of you, you might be looking at sales reports. For others of you, you might be looking at bookings for the week, but there's some part of financial management or numbers that's yours to look at. Then you take a look at your specific money goals. So for you, those of you that are looking to, if Robert's looking to stabilize revenue, or Gail's looking to have both the patients and the income coming in, you look at your specific money goals and you choose 2 to 3 of your most leveraged actions for the week. What are the things that you personally, as the owner, are committed to doing? And hint, those actions, those become the things that are your process measures. Those are the things that you commit to that week, connected to your money goals. So take a moment and just imagine if you were to give 5 to 20 minutes every Monday, specifically focused around your purpose, your money goals, what would you get out of that? What would that do for you? Most people say things like, this would get me focused on the key priorities that are mine. And this would get me, because sometimes business owners will get super involved in the creativity or get involved in the people issues or get involved in the technology, but wait to see the numbers till the end of the month. Others will say, if I was looking at numbers every week, I'd be way more focused and engaged in how all of this activity is connecting to the numbers. So good for you. That's your action step. That's your giving. Now, Faithful Friday is about receptivity, about awareness, about resilience and reflection. So Faithful Friday, don't skimp on receiving. So often as business owners, you will take so much responsibility for your business and start to feel like I need to be working 24/7, 365, and even start to feel like I don't really have time to think and reflect. Instead, I've got to be busy, busy, busy responding to my people or hustling for the next client. But so much research shows that multitasking ultimately wears us down and isn't as efficient as we think it is. And that the value of this really is 5 to 10 minutes on Friday dedicated to receptivity and reflection. And I do use the word faith here. If you're a person who relates to the word faith, use that. You could also call it appreciation or gratitude Friday or reflection time, because you're going to do 2 rounds of reflection. The first is you're going to take a look at the support you are receiving. How am I as the business owner? How are we as the team? How are we in this community being supported? So for some of you, you don't have to look any farther than like this community and the resources that have come up with, Arizona Commerce Authority creating a small business boot camp that was going to be there for a few months that is now an established idea, getting so much, over 100 sessions of resources and ideas and information. So it could be a practical thing of support. The other thing you can look for is, how is my creativity and innovation being supported? There are so many business owners who are being generous and supporting each other and looking for creative ways to work together. I know also that your families and your communities are supporting you as well. So how have you been supported this week? And then the other question you look at on Friday is you reflect on your results. How are those money goals happening now? So maybe you're not quite seeing income from the 4-week sales process for the next big project. But what you did see is that our RFP was reviewed. We had a question and answer session. We talked to the technical users. We're now going to talk to the purchasing folks. You can celebrate the results of the steps along the way. And when you start to look for the evidence that the thing you desire is happening, you'll see more of the evidence. You know, reflection is really important. We cannot have anything more than we're willing to experience and be aware of. So your capacity to be present, aware, some will use the word mindful about how you're being supported and what results you are achieving is very powerful. So take a moment and imagine, what is it like when you are engaging in Faithful Friday? How is that benefiting you? And my final question that I'll put into the chat is thinking about Money Monday and Faithful Friday. What do you see as the benefits of implementing some version of that for you and your team? And as you're doing that, I'll put the summary of what we've covered today up on the slide. But what do you see as the possible benefits of implementing a Money Monday and a Faithful Friday? And Faith, do you want to read these out?
I sure can. Brant just posted that his benefits is the ability to reflect and rapidly pivot to adapt to changing market pressures. Darren posted, giving feels good, makes me feel a part of something bigger, helping others. The nature of giving and receiving and the law of attraction and the laws of balance. Jody shared with us, being more aware of what I'm working towards and how I'm progressing through the goals. Be aware of how we are moving on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Vint shared with us, positive continuity with paying it forward and paying the bills. Robert shared, stay engaged with your business.
Yeah, all of it, yeah.
David says, focus and reflection over a longer period of time, allowing for consistent goal achievement. Joyrides AZ says, focusing on what is really important personally and business-wise.
Yeah. These are great, aren't they? Thank you, Faith, and thank you, everybody. You can see that the combination, that's the rhythm piece, the combination of focus, so you have clear on priorities, but reflection, so you're open to a new idea. The ability to be creative and pivot only comes from having a new idea. Oh, this is great. So Annette says, always practice Money Monday in personal life, but never thought of applying it to business. There's something about setting up your business to be a giving business that really shifts the energy in a very positive way. So thank you all, and thank you, Faith, for that. So we've covered these topics today, and many of them have been somewhat reflective type topics. And I encourage you to be able to think about just pulling some of the pieces out of this, telling the story of your business with purpose, the distinction of process and results measures, the value of having a lot of action, but also having a lot of reflection, and then the two practices, Money Monday and Faithful Friday. So those are my organized thoughts for you all. I'm going to put into the chat how you can be in touch with me. And then for those of you that enjoy, particularly if you enjoy the reflective leadership, growth-oriented pieces, the unconscious money mistakes video training is a great follow-up. So I've put the link for that there. And I believe it's time for us to do some Q&A. So if people have questions or comments, the Q&A box is the place, I believe, for the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. That was awesome. If you have questions for Karen, please plug them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. I want to say a couple of things. I really love that the rhythm piece was great. I think of sports when you were saying that, and sports teams, when you look at them and they're in a rhythm, they're always doing better. They're always playing better, getting better results. They may not win, but their game is better. And when they're not in rhythm, they definitely aren't going to win. So they're definitely not winning. And one of the things I look back on in my career, especially when I was a multi-unit manager, is I like to give my team kind of the weekend to run their business, run their operations, and not have me button in over the weekend. So every Monday morning, I jumped into my numbers first thing, and looked at my business. And I give Monday, give time to the pieces of your business. I see a lot of business owners that Monday morning comes around, they walk in their business, they open the door, and they let the business take them over. And then all of a sudden it's Friday and they haven't had time or made the time or scheduled the time to look at some of those key business things that are important. And so, taking the time on Mondays to give that time to give back. Now, a question I had while we're waiting for others to include their questions is, on the giving piece, what if the business is struggling right now? They're barely making enough to stay afloat. How can they give without having money to give?
That it's so good. I'm going to answer it as a both and. It's a great question. So sometimes we think, well, I'll wait till we have excess to pay me fully, to give to charity, to do X, Y, and Z. And one of the things that I encourage is that even if it is a small symbolic amount, so even if when you get a new contract in, you may have debts you need to pay, payroll you need to meet, even if you can take a very small, 1/10 of 1%, just a symbolic amount and have it go toward giving, it can be really powerful. So that's one way to do it, is you can start where you're at, and you can also decide you want to allocate your giving from only one portion of the business where there is enough flow to give some. And then of course, Robert, you can give time, you can give services in kind, you can give a testimony, you can give, sometimes you'll have maybe you've got a site that can't be open to the public, but could be used for other purposes. Like, there are absolutely things of value that you have to give, and you don't want to overgive to deplete, but don't wait to be a giver.
Excellent. I heard the term and I like to use it, and I think it applies really well to this giving idea, especially even if you don't have the money, but you mentioned time and some of your expertise and different things like that. For example, what you're doing today.
Yeah.
The term is return. It's ROI. Many of you have heard it in the business aspect of return on investment, but the way I like to use it and heard it and have copied it, borrowed the term for myself, is return on involvement. And so as you're, if you can't, in that giving piece, if you're giving your time and your expertise or your facilities or, your employees' time, they might want to, you might be giving by letting them go do activities or service. That return on involvement will definitely come back and benefit you. So that's a great, great piece. All right, I see we have at least one question in there. It says, what is the exact URL for the replay? It'll be posted on our Bootcamp website later this afternoon. So the same place where you registered, and I think early in the chat we have it posted to the Bootcamp. Yeah, if you scroll to the very top of the chat box, you'll see a link to the Small Business Bootcamp. You can click there and you will see the recording later today. So with that, it looks like we're wrapping up on time. Oh, we got another question pop in. Oh, it's a thank you. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. So Karen, we can't thank you enough for jumping in at the last minute and sharing these wonderful words of with us. Great, absolutely great presentation. Got a lot out of it today. I hope everybody else did. With that, do you like to share any last closing thoughts?
You know, the thought I'll share is trust yourself. You know, you're already working hard, learning a lot, and just your commitment, the fact that you've shown up here, that you're involved in this that you want to grow yourself, trust that that is absolutely, you're going to get a great return on the investment of your time and energy and attention being here.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen. Again, everybody, thank you for being here today. Thank you for participating in our 2020 bootcamp sessions. Just a reminder that we will take the next 2 weeks off, and then we'll start back on January 5th, 9 a.m. We are excited to jump into the 2021 year with new content and a lot of great experts. So everybody have a great holidays, be safe, enjoy the time, and we will see you in the new year. Thanks, and have a great day.